welcome to Danys Healing Kitchen. I am Danny, an integrative nutritional health coach who focuses on gut health. And today it's all about your gut. It's about creating a very healthy environment for your gut and for your immune system. So we're gonna be making water kefir and water and milk kefir. So I have both. I have water kefir and milk kefir. So we're gonna start with our water kefir right here. And if you are not familiar with it, water kefir, it's done with, it's called water grains, or kefir grains, but they are not really grains and they are gluten-free as well. What they are is like these cultured live bacteria. And these bacteria love to feed on sugar. So while they feed on sugar, in the process of eating the sugar, it creates a fermentation and they leave out the final product would be like a lot of enzymes and really good bacteria for your body. So that's why I love drinking this every day. It really gives me a really good sense of well-being and energy. So we're gonna start with, I have here spring water, but these grains thrive on minerals. They love minerals. And if we do it constantly, they're gonna grow. I actually have 4 of these at home making, and I need to give some away because they're really gonna grow. So I'm gonna add I have Fiji water. Fiji water is very, very mineralized. So we have Fiji water. We're gonna add 1/4 or 3 big tablespoons of sugar. And this is very simple. It's a very simple process. And the more you do it, the better you get. And we're just gonna mix it very quick. So the sugar is all dissolved in the water. And once we do that, we're gonna wait and set it aside because we are gonna this is already been in sugar water. But if you buy them, the grains are not gonna come in water, of course. They're gonna come in packages. And you usually need to activate them, which means that you need to put them in sugar water 1 or 2 times for them to start like really fermenting the water. So this one has already been activated because I've been doing it for a few months now. So what we're gonna do, I have these airtight bottles, which are great for these. And this is the first fermentation, which has the grains. And if you would like to, we're gonna have this. We're gonna create a second fermentation, which are not gonna have the grains. So we're gonna just put them in there. And if you can see, I don't know if you're able to see, it has some bubbles in them, which means they did their job. So if you can see, they have some like bubbles. It's kind of like soda. So the end fermentation, the second fermentation, the end product is gonna be a very bubbly like soda type of drink, but the healthy version of it. So we're gonna put it right here. And then again, we're gonna get all the things in there, and it's a little messy. And it's very important to know that these grains would die if they touch any metal. So the strainer that you use in the containers are very important. So the containers, I use mason jars, like glass, and the strainer has to be either plastic or sometimes they sell other kinds, but not metal. So make sure that whatever you use, that your grains do not touch metal because they would die. They're very picky. So now with these grains that we have, the water is being poured into those containers, and now I have fresh sugar water. So we're just, what we do is we just dump them. We're gonna get that out of the way. And we just put them in here. Make sure we get them all in there. And when they start growing, they are going to, some people, because they're gonna start growing, the more you do it, they're gonna grow and grow. So it's okay to eat them. I have actually eaten them, and it's completely fine. They don't taste like anything. They're bacteria for your gut, like good bacteria. So it's actually okay to eat it. And now you can put a cheesecloth, like a lightly covered. I put the lid on and I just lightly close it. I don't completely close it, but I just lightly close it and leave it in there for about 2 days, 1.5 days. And then when you see bubbles coming up, right now you're not gonna see them because we just took it out. But when you see bubbles coming up is when they start fermenting the sugar, and the end product should be not very sweet and is slightly tangy, so not too sour. If it is too sour, it means that it was either over fermented or it went bad. You would see if it goes bad, it has like white things on top, and you would see it for sure. But the end product should not be, and it's not very, it won't have a lot of sugar content. So don't worry about that. If it is a sugary water, it is not. It is fermented, and it's actually very good and beneficial for your immune system. And now, these things right here, these are the water that we took out from the grains. And what we do is, it's called a second fermentation. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that out to even it out. What we do is, it's called a second fermentation. And the second fermentation has to be done with, again, more sugar because they feed on sugar. So the second fermentation has to be done with adding more sugar to it, and we usually add flavor. This one right here tastes like kind of coconut water because I do like cane sugar, so the end product is like a kind of coconut water. But to add more flavor, we can add, I have here like dried orange peel, I have lemon peel, and turmeric. Again, all of these are great for your gut, and it will really help you if you have inflammation things, if you have any other ailments. It will really help bring the inflammation down, or anything else that you have going on. I have many gut issues, including overgrowth of candida in my body, and by doing all of these, it really has helped bringing that. And my favorite thing is dried elderberries. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some dried elderberries for my second fermentation, and just put them in there. And this is gonna be, like I said, it's gonna have a lot of gas. So make sure that once you put these for the second fermentation, I'm gonna go ahead and add a cinnamon stick. There we go. And then I'm gonna close it. And because this is airtight, I'm just gonna slightly stir it. And you're gonna see how it's gonna blend in together. But make sure you burp it like every 6 hours or so, because otherwise it's just gonna explode. So I'm gonna put this aside. And I have, because it takes like 2 days, I have this one that it's already done and been fermenting in my kitchen since yesterday. So I haven't really burped it since the morning, so we'll see. Hopefully sometimes I get a little, whoa, did you hear the burp? So if you come here, if you see all the bubbles coming up, it's all the gas. So I close it because it's gonna just start going up, but I'm gonna wait a little bit and I'm gonna open it again. So you see, oh, okay. Just came up. So we're gonna leave it right there. I'm all dirty with that. But as you can see, this is a very good explanation of all the fermentation that it does. And then you can just drain it and add it to a new container. And that would be, I have another one. And this one have turmeric, lemon peel, and I think the orange. This one shouldn't have, oh, it has a little bit. See coming up? All the bubbles. Oh, there we go. I want to leave it there so you can see it. But so this is very good. Again, this one is going to taste really good just because of all the ingredients in there. And it's important to know that because all these ingredients have been fermenting there, then your body is gonna absorb them so much better and faster than if you were to eat it without the fermentation process. So that's why I love doing this, because it's really ready, available for your body, like instantly. It's like a really big immune booster for your body. So we're gonna put that aside. And now we're gonna do our milk kefir. And our milk kefir is even easier. There are two ways you can do milk kefir. We have the grains, which is pretty much the same, but make sure, like, if you are gonna do milk kefir, you get milk kefir grains, because they're not the same as water kefir grains. The water kefir grains feed on sugar. The milk kefir grains feed on milk. So they're very different, but right now I don't have the grains, I have the powder, which works slightly the same, but what we do, and this is a lot easier. So I have some milk right here. I actually have goat milk. I prefer goat milk over cow's milk, but it's a individual preference, so whatever you would like. We just put the powder right here, and we close it, and we're gonna shake it for about a minute or so really well, until it's really well mixed up. And you leave it in there in the counter, in the kitchen, in a not too hot spot for about a day or two. Again, with the first fermentation, you're gonna activate it first. And with the milk, what you do, instead of getting the grains out and do a new fermentation, with the powder, you actually take a quarter of it and pour it in a new milk. And that gets you about 10, you can do that about 8 to 10 times until the powder is no good, and you need to get a new powder and start over again. The grains, they're gonna keep on growing if you do milk grains, but not the powder. The powder, you can use it up to about 8 to 10 times. So, and we're gonna leave it there. And that's about it. On our next segment, we're gonna make some smoothies, and my son is gonna join me to make some smoothies with our water kefir and our milk kefir. So stay tuned for our next segment. Welcome back. So now that we finished and did our water kefir, I'm gonna make a shake that is very healing and good for our immune system and our gut. We're gonna pour, the first thing I'm gonna add is my water kefir right here. And I don't really measure, I just like to pour in there. I really love to drink it straight up from the bottle. But I do add it on my shakes as well. And some of the things I do love to add is, again, all these ingredients are very healthy and very good for overall immune support. So I'm gonna add some kiwis. I have some fresh basil and some fresh mint from my garden. This adds like a really good taste and flavor to your taste buds. And I have right here, beyond kale and spinach, I have some microgreens. Microgreens are my lately favorite thing to go when it comes to shakes. They are really nutrient packed and nutrient dense. And so I don't really do kale or spinach anymore on my shakes. I do rotate, and sometimes I don't do these either. So it's very good to rotate your ingredients, and so the body doesn't get always the same nutrients in them. And I'm gonna get some berries. This is a mixed berries. I get frozen organic berries from your local store, and I'm just gonna put them in there. It has blueberries, blackberries, and strawberries. And then I'm gonna add chia seeds. Chia seeds are excellent when you wanna get rid of like toxins in your gut microbiome, because they actually absorb those things, and their gelatin content really helps with your gut. So let's see if I'm forgetting, cloves. I know that it's weird to add cloves to your shake, but after my gut health classes, I really love using a lot of herbs, especially cloves, to my shakes, and I do also fennel. It adds a little tiny bit, not too much. If you're too sensitive to taste, then I wouldn't recommend adding it, but I love to eat for my health. And sometimes it doesn't taste too good. You could add a banana right here. I don't want to, just because I don't like to load my body with a lot of sugar, but it would taste a lot better if you add a banana. A banana, that's what I do for my husband, and that's what I do for my kids. I add a banana and some other like more sugary fruits in there. So now my son is gonna do his own shake, and he's gonna pick and choose, and let's see how he does. Now my son is gonna create his own shake. So go ahead, we have some microgreens. He squeezed his own fresh juice right here. We have some bananas, mangoes, kale and spinach, and we have some frozen berries. What we have here?
And kiwi.
And we have our water kefir. Are you gonna choose to do the water kefir on your shake?
No, I'm gonna use orange juice instead.
Go ahead, put it right there.
I'm gonna do orange juice.
Put it right here.
Got it. How do I put it in here?
We just get it out.
Yep. We also got it.
Yeah, right here. There we go. How much?
Make sure that's out.
Are you gonna put all of it in there?
Yeah, that's why I made it.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
There we go. And now what?
Blueberry.
Okay, go ahead. How much? Just put in some in there, please.
I'm just gonna put like
Here, you want to
maybe 10.
Okay, that you don't. It's okay.
I said 10.
You don't have to count them. Just put them in there.
I'll take like, yeah.
Okay, and then what?
Blueberries.
You want to put some cloves in there and see how it tastes, and fennel? What do you think?
I'll put fennel.
You want to put some fennel and see how it tastes?
I'm nervous how it will taste though.
You don't have to try it if you don't want to. It's up to you.
I'm willing to.
Okay, go ahead. Cloves might be a little bit better, but it's up to you.
Wait, what? Okay, no, I can write cloves. I put just a pinch of fennel.
Oh, that's okay. That's enough. Okay, what else are you going to put? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's kind of a juice.
Well, it's
You
going to
sure?
be into a shake.
You're not going to put any more? So how about some of these?
No, I think I'm fine.
Okay.
Put more blueberries so it's
Okay.
not much of a juice.
Okay, so we are going to blend all these together. So we finished blending our shakes, and now it's the test.
Mine is more like a smoothie.
Yours is very watery, like very liquidy. So we'll see.
Yeah, but
Go
at the
ahead.
same time, it's not. I don't want to.
You don't want to drink it? Mine tastes like what it usually tastes, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, and I imagine.
Okay, can you try it and see when you
I
tell
mixed orange juice.
blueberries and
yeah.
cloves? Go ahead. I'm really excited to see how it tastes, and I want to taste it too. Go ahead.
Okay.
And tell people at home.
I'm so scared.
Maybe you can advise them on what not to put in there. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna advise not to put.
But you need to taste it first for them to
Okay.
know. What do you think?
I don't like it.
You don't like it? What? Come over here. Come over here. So what do you think about it? What is it about that you don't like it?
Don't mix oranges, blueberries, and kefir.
This is what not to do. Are you running away? Okay, he's running away. So on our next segment, coming up is our healing ingredients segment. So stay tuned. Welcome to our healing ingredients segment. So today I chose not one ingredient, but it's actually all these ingredients that you see right here, the blueberries, the cloves, the fennel, the microgreens, all these ingredients have one thing in common. There is this chemical compound that it's called polyphenols. Polyphenols are these chemical compounds that gives the healing properties to all these ingredients. It's especially good for our gut microbiomes. It really affects in a good way our gut. So it promotes the well-being of the good bacteria in our gut. So the more we consume all these ingredients that have polyphenols in them, the healthier we can become, and they actually prevent diseases. It actually helps also with, if you consume the more polyphenols you consume, it helps with diabetes, it helps with mood disorders, it helps with even memory loss. So there are many benefits to consuming polyphenols. Polyphenols are actually what gives their colors right here. And if you're familiar with the word antioxidant, which I'm sure you are, this is also works as an antioxidant in our bodies. So I love to consume especially cloves. I know I put it in my shake, and the reason I do that is because they did a study a few years ago, and cloves came up as the highest amount of polyphenols per 100 grams. So the more you add cloves, the better you will feel. If you are healing from something, or if you actually want to prevent from something, adding cloves and really polyphenol-rich foods will really help in your preventing or healing journey. Stay tuned for our next segment, which is our Q&A segment. So for our Q&A segment, our friend asked what is beneficial about fermented foods. So fermented foods like the one we did today, which is the water kefir and the milk kefir, are beneficial for our overall health because they produce enzymes and also good bacteria for our gut. But it's good to know that the bacteria they produce is not like a probiotic or like a supplement. They are transient bacteria, meaning they don't colonize on our gut. They don't stay there and make like a colony, but what they do, they just pass through. But when they're passing through our guts, they really leave out and helps with our digestion. So feeling as helping with bowel movements, helping with overall sense of energy. They also help with mood disorders because, you know, all our gut, our brain are connected. So if our gut is healthy and populated with good bacteria, then your brain is gonna feed on that. They communicate with each other. So the better and the stronger your gut microbiome is, your mood and your brain is gonna be healthy as well. So eating fermented foods like water kefir really helps promote well-being, especially if you are healing from something. Like I was many years ago, I was trying to heal from many things like candida overgrowth and really fatigue. So many things, it really helps with everything. So is refined sugar okay to eat? So in general, the answer is no. I wouldn't recommend like eating refined sugar. The problem with refined sugar, it's the added sugar that, you know, companies and the food industry adds to your food. Like refined sugar is added to like ketchup and cereals and even pasta sauces to make it taste good. And they do a good job on that. But the problem is that a lot of sugar in our body, especially refined sugar, creates a big problem in our gut. And like our gut is like an ocean. So there are like a lot of types of bacteria, like just like the ocean, there are a lot of types of fish. So whatever you eat, you're feeding that bacteria, you're feeding it. So if you feed it sugar, the bacteria in our gut that are not very beneficial is gonna grow and overpopulate that good bacteria, and that's when problems start to happen. So we wanna keep it in balance. We don't wanna get rid of our bad bacteria because it plays a really important role to maintain it a balance. But if we just eat sugar, then it's gonna overpopulate. So we wanna keep it in balance. And we don't want to completely get rid of it. Like if you enjoy, let's say, coffee with sugar, it's okay, but just make sure that rest of your food comes from whole foods and it doesn't have any added ingredients and added sugar to it. It's also important to know that it's about balance. So like we did with the sugar, and the bacteria ate the sugar in the process, it creates a really good product for us, but in our bodies it works a little bit different. So just make sure that you have a really good balanced diet, and in general like a whole foods. And again, I don't think there is problem with adding 1 teaspoon of sugar to randomly like coffee, but if we're constantly bombarded our bodies with sugar, then that's when problems start creating. Thank you for watching today's show all about gut health. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope that this was beneficial to you. If you do water kefir, I would love to know. And if you have any questions or you would like to participate on our Q&A segment, please follow me on social media at Dani Bourbon Nutrition. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next episode.